Going live.
Come on.
Come on, baby.
Come on.
Show me the money.
Is it live now?
Live. Going live. Again.
Live. Oh, yeah, you can hear us.
Got a little bit of a delay.
Definitely a delay, but. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're posting. We're in.
And it's go time.
Hang on. Hang on. I'm going to post it.
See? You go and do something like this, and then you totally redeem yourself.
I'm still pissed off, so doesn't matter.
I forgot that was the rye. Oh.
I'm glad I can't drink that.
You gotta let the ice thin it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rye always has a really...
Let the water do the work.
Rye's got a sharp taste on the back end.
Are you going to monitor the chat then? How do we want to do that?
Yeah, I got the chat going.
Okay.
If anybody comes in.
We are live.
So
How about that?
now you got to do your intro for the Spotify audience.
Oh, I'm going to intro the hell out of this now. You ready? Are we ready? Are you ready?
Felt that deep in his balls.
No, that was the light version.
Yeah, well, we don't need all that.
Don't get too excited. Aaron's right next to you.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do this up.
So,
I feel like I need to stand now. Do I need to stand too?
I don't know.
It's completely up to you,
I don't
Pinky.
actually know why I'm standing, to be honest. But
Because you're a little agitated.
that's probably it.
You don't sit down when you're agitated.
It's true.
All right, well, start it. Should I
Yeah,
go?
start it up. We're good.
Yeah, rolling in 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another wonderful episode of Sports, Nonsense, and Whiskey. Tuesday, February 15th. Guess what? We're live. Live on Facebook. You want to listen? You want to chat with us? You want to throw out some nonsense of your own? Let's hear it. We may not respond. We may not even acknowledge it. But we most likely will.
First off, Caleb, we're live on YouTube. not
YouTube,
Facebook.
what did I say? Facebook?
Yeah.
Damn. Already screwing everything up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, ladies
We
and
expect
gentlemen.
that from you, though.
30
I'm here.
seconds in. Yeah.
I'm here to screw it all up. That's what I'm good at.
That's okay.
But we're live, hanging out with the fellas in the cave. Pinky, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, man. That was a good day. It's a good day. It's been a good week so far.
Excellent. SP, I know you're a little on edge right now, but overall, minus the last 35 minutes, how you doing?
Last week's been garbage. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. How about you?
Hit and miss.
I've just been feeling old.
I think that's a little bit of me as
I
well.
literally had hip pain last night that had me almost in tears.
That's not good.
It's not. Today it's completely
Did you do
fine.
something that caused it?
No.
Oh, that's even worse.
No. There might be a previous issue that flares up from time to time. I'm going to go with that's what it is. Because, again, if you go to the doctor, they find everything wrong with you.
Except for what's
Yeah.
bothering you?
And then then you just
Yeah.
pay for it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
but
about.
the hip coupled with my knee issue. Aaron over here, I think he diagnosed it as an MCL.
No, I think you have probably a minor or not, if not a full meniscus tear would
Oh,
be my
there you
guess.
go.
Meniscus tear is where you're going. That's a bit of a
I
rehab.
mean, it's been
sir.
for a year, though. It shouldn't have healed
you-
itself, or...
Oh no, it doesn't heal itself. And,
No,
and
meniscus is, once it's torn, it's.
you might be able to get a cadaver one stitched on in there.
There's a lot of people who just get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean you saw that diagram I showed you. You don't technically need it. It's just there to provide a lot of
The
cushion
disc
for
to
the
help,
joints. Yeah,
so it's not bone on bone, basically.
yeah.
It could be a meniscus tear. Usually, though, when people move around as much as you have and lift and everything, the way PCLs have, or not PCLs, MCLs are usually the ones that you still can do everything on. It just hurts.
So I don't get any throbbing. It's literally just when I do a squatting motion. I can go upstairs. I can get on a treadmill. I can bike. I can do everything with my knee. And it's only when I'm going down. And it doesn't So I'll go to the gym. We'll do squats. it'll hurt. I'll do what I can and then stop. The next day, it just doesn't bother me. So,
Yeah, that's I'm not sure what to say. I don't feel old because my body hurts, because my body's hurt since I was like 14, 15. Starting about there, just continuous because of sports and stuff. So I've always had a nagging injury or
don't get an MRI.
ache or pain. Dude, I just had one on my back. And they go, yeah, definitely some degeneration. Looks like you probably got some nerve damage. It's like, okay. They're like, so let's go ahead and give you a Toradol shot. We'll do 2 of those. I was like, that's not really solving anything. I'm not really talking about the pain as it's an issue. I'm talking about how do we relieve it.
Yeah.
They said, well, we'll do the shot. I was like, all right, fine. You know what? Spine one out of Denver. They're supposed to be phenomenal at this back stuff. I get a call 2 days before my appointment. It was cleared through your insurance. Everything's good to go. It's going to be $1,000. I called them right back and I said, you can cancel both of my appointments. They're like, why? I was like, I'm not paying $1,000 for a pain shot. That doesn't do
I'm
me
not
any
in that
good.
much. Are you not in a lot of pain, right?
Oh, the pain was so bad I couldn't walk.
Oh,
Crippled
That's pretty
me.
bad. That's
My
pretty bad.
dad literally forced me to go to the doctor. So, yeah, it was bad. But it's been that way since I was 15. So I've had many doctors tell me it's a phantom. And I'm like, I'm not missing games for fun. Like, I'm not sitting on the bench and not playing.
Have you gone to a chiropractor?
It's probably my next step, but I'm not a big fan of chiropractors because I feel like if you have to continuously go back to something to get it corrected, it's not fixing you.
Well, that's because most people don't go to the chiropractor the right way. And the right way is you have to incorporate a lot of massage therapy because your muscles are, they're elastic.
Sure.
So if you go and, you get everything worked out and then go home and don't change anything, all those muscles slide right back to where they were.
Right.
And then it just recauses the problem. So you have to get a lot of massage therapy after.
I haven't heard that before, but that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's got to be malleable.
I'm going to do my own core strengthening for now and see how that works and go from there. But
that's definitely the best way to fight back pain.
Yeah.
Because I've had back pain since I was a kid. And
Yeah.
that was the thing.
I have lower back pain, but that's because I'm fat.
literally, dude, 15, freshman soccer, Woodland Park. I'll never forget it. His first game I was going to start, a big time feeling, we're in warm-up lines, and I go to kick the ball, and my body freezes. Like, it was the weirdest feeling in the world. My body, froze. I could walk still and move, but if I tried to, actually run or, bend over or do anything that requires, sports, couldn't do it. Buddy came, and he was trying to pop my back. We were trying to stretch me out. I thought it was just tight all of a sudden, never loosened up. 2 weeks later, it was like it never happened. And it just flares up every couple of years. And just when it happened 2 months ago, I got out of the shower, I got dressed, and I went to go walk out of my bedroom and knees to the floor. I was like, whoa, it's back. No idea why, no idea what's going on. I think it's got something to do with the nerve damage that he said he possibly saw, but I'm not paying $1,000 for pain medication.
Yeah, did they not know what we can get for $25? In an alley?
I'm good.
Here,
You can keep your Toradol.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you could buy stuff from an Amazon driver if you catch them. But
So, yeah, I've always had a hit and miss feeling with doctors in general. Your high end people, your neurosurgeons, your orthopedic surgeons, and guys like that who have specialties,
yeah.
I feel like are amazing. General practitioners, I feel like 90% of the time, maybe even higher than that, they're just looking to churn through people and they don't even listen to what you're saying. My migraines, I saw a neurologist for 5 years. I self-diagnosed myself and prescribed my own medications. I walked in there and told him what I wanted to try. That shouldn't be happening. That just seems backwards to me. The only reason I'm going to you is because I can't write my own prescription. That's not okay. So it is what it is, but
I'm starting to think those, the family practice doctors are like the customer service when you call in.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The frontline guys are like, I just want to get you
You're
off the phone.
Can I see a supervisor?
Yeah, they're like, absolutely. In other words, a specialist. And
That
they're
is
like,
a
here's
great
your-
way to describe it because it
here's your
took me
note and get out of
3
here.
years to see my general practitioner before she would even write me a referral to a neurologist. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
But no, I get the pain thing. But yeah, I don't feel old because of the pain. I just feel like it's all old athletic injuries that if I just, got a little bit more healthy and a little bit more active, they'd be all a lot better.
Well, at least you have an excuse.
After I was on the phone scheduling my MRI, and she was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a $700 copay." I was like, maybe my knee doesn't hurt that bad.
We already went over this, Pinky. How much of that you paying? How much?
0.
Okay, shut up, dude.
Wait,
Like, serious?
so you're not paying anything?
Well, at where I work, they
Yeah.
give you the
Yeah.
$2,500 a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, last year we didn't spend a lot, and the year before we
Right.
didn't spend a lot, so we rolled quite a bit over, and so now
So
I've got a
you're
decent
complaining
amount
about $700 when you don't even have to touch it?
I mean, it's still coming out
Pink,
of that
you're probably
account.
getting a swift kick in the ass on the way out of here tonight. Just a heads up.
That's what I was telling him. I'm like, seriously, dude. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he
No,
was just
you
like,
don't,
What
no.
are you bitching about?
No, my $1,000 was after my insurance kicked in.
yeah.
So, no, but I get paying. I've had to pay that for MRIs. I had to do it for my head because they were convinced there was going to be a tumor in my brain, and that's why my migraines were the way they were. Came back clean, and the doctor goes, "Huh, that's exactly what he said." Looked at it, goes, "Well, you're healthy." Not really what I was looking for.
Brain looks good.
Yeah, so the medication that I'm on now. So he originally prescribed the first one. And he's like, just a heads up, insurance doesn't like to cover this, so you might want to check on it before you get it filled, right? So, anyways, I get a call from the pharmacy, and they're like, "There's a problem with your prescription." I'm like, I know exactly what that problem is.
Yeah.
So I called them and I'm like, "So what's up?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're not going to cover it, but we can still fill it for you for it's $1,000." And I'm like, "That's a little steep. I don't think I'm going to do that." And I'm like, "So that's like for the full regimen thing?" They're like, "No, it's per pill." I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, so I'd have to set up a payment plan to get a 2-week supply is what you're saying? Like, you charge interest?
It's not
Like,
just a payment plan. Here's my next 3 years' salary.
yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good. I said, I'll call my doctor. I'll see if they got something else. And then, so I called him and he's like, this one basically works just as well. $22.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give me that one the first
Yeah.
try?
I'm like, why do you even put me through
Why'd
that?
you waste my time?
Right. Yeah. I think they probably got a little deal, he gets a little
Oh, they
kickback.
absolutely do.
Gets a rebate in the mail anytime some sucker pays $14,000 for medication.
Absolutely. There's a reason they always offer something first.
Yeah. Try this. Let's see if your insurance
disgusting.
is stupid enough to pay for
Dude, the
this.
healthcare system in America is broken beyond
Yeah.
broken.
Hey, that's
but
what-
the problem with it is we also have like the best doctors in the world for majority of things.
Oh boy, would I disagree with that.
I'm talking surgeries. and,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in certain cases, absolutely.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is that if you and I go in for the same thing, we will pay 2 separate prices.
yeah.
And not even that, but the doctor's office bills the insurance company one price. The insurance company comes back and says, "No, we're only going to pay this." The doctor's like, "Okay, we'll take that."
Yeah. And then they send you a
And then-
bill for the rest.
And then they pass through. Yeah.
You know what's really cool?
ridiculous.
Here, let's go ahead and segue. You ready? I got a segue for you. You heard about what Mark Cuban's doing?
Yep.
Awesome.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Awesome. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah. So Mark Cuban is starting his own. I guess you could call it pharmaceutical company. They're not manufacturing anything, but they're going to be a prescription service, and it's fully transparent. And he tells you up front, anything you pay is only going to have a 10% markup, and that's just to cover the overhead, and that is it. And he is doing it specifically to undercut all these terrible practices that are going on right now. Because,
Can't use insurance.
Yeah, can't use insurance.
Otherwise,
but-
he has to deal with them for the stuff. So he's cutting out all middlemen.
Yeah, but he's going to offer everything to them at basically wholesale prices with just enough markup to keep, of course, them operational. Pretty much for him to kind of put his foot on the throat of, most pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies, because if they don't get in line, they're not going to get any business, right? So now they're going to have to start to compete. It's ridiculous that a billionaire has to go through this kind of trouble just to make them not be terrible companies.
Here's where I get so frustrated, I think, is, look, I'm all for capitalism. I think it is the best setup that we can have at this point in human history. And I say that because it really does create, you go out and bust your ass, you're going to get the reward kind of thing, right? Like you make a company, you make it successful, you get to reap the benefits. However, the catch-22 of that is at the same time, you get guys, and I am going to draw a blank on his name and the company right now. I think it was Pfizer. A couple years back, the really young dude. He was like 34. He's like the CEO of this major pharmaceutical company.
wasn't Pfizer.
It wasn't Pfizer. You're referring to the guy that they called
EpiPen.
Pharma. Well, actually, there was a guy before that. So what this kid did is he worked for Wall Street, got some money, and he figured out that you can actually buy the companies that are doing the manufacturing. And when you buy them and you owe them, you get to control the cost production.
Right.
So he went and he purchased this drug that was specifically for more or less HIV. And he jumped it from $13 a pill to $750 a pill overnight. And because
people have to have it.
well, his argument was insurance is going to cover it. What do you care? Right. But obviously there were a lot of people out there that were paying for that out of pocket.
Yeah.
So that completely went out the window. But anyway, he was a 34-year-old dude that was like, I don't care. He's like, I'm just going to go clean up, make tons of cash. And but there's actually a really good documentary out.
He has no soul. Like you watch any
Isn't that the
interviews
guy
with this
that
guy.
bought like the Wu-Tang Clan?
That's
CD?
exactly it. Yeah.
He has
the one copy
soul.
of it.
Yeah.
The dude literally said, "Why do I care if somebody can't afford their insulin? That's not my problem. My problem is making as much money for this company as I can." What? Like, dude, there's a fine line of capitalism and having human decency. Like,
Yeah.
you could charge double what it costs you to product it and still become a billionaire.
But
That wasn't enough for him.
he was a really strange dude,
Really
though.
But it's so weird how, the insurance companies, the health, the professionals, like I used to take this sleep aid and I took it every night. I could guarantee myself 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Guaranteed. I wouldn't get up in the middle of the night and pee. Nothing. Just, I would be good to go.
Yeah.
This doctor's visit I had the other day, doctor's like, "Oh, are you still taking this medication?" And I was like, "Well, I take it if I just really need a good night's sleep." "Well, you don't take it every night?" I was like, "Well, no, the insurance company only give me 10 pills a month. That's all they'll let me have." Although when I had a full month, now again, any night I didn't have it, like if my prescription ran out and I hadn't got it filled yet,
Yeah.
that was like the worst night ever because I had gotten dependent on like I had to have it to sleep. But I was like it's so good it knocks me out that it was perfect for me.
Yeah.
Now I don't. I mean, I just use it when I'm like really having one of those bad nights. I should be able to use it every night. I should, but I can't because my insurance company will only pay for 10.
Right. And that's the thing that I don't like about it is they get to dictate what's good for you. And it's not even that, right? More or less off the cuff say, well, this is what's good for you, or this is what we're going to pay. However you want to look at it, you know what I mean? And that's really irritating. But there definitely are negative things to capitalism for sure. And that's when people go about it the wrong way and are just fulfilled with greed. Because I watched back-to-back documentaries, funny enough, about that girl who started up the company. You're supposed to just take a few drops of blood, put it into a machine, and it was going to do like all these full blood tests and everything.
Yeah.
Her product never worked ever, and she raised $9 billion of money. Yeah, it never worked. She didn't even have a working prototype, but they were out there doing deals with Walgreens and all this other stuff. And anyways, so yeah, they went broke, and she actually ended up going to prison because of, pretty much defrauding. And the same thing with that company WeWork. I don't know if you heard of them.
No.
Here's the thing that blows my mind with this. That company got a valuation at its top of $47.5 billion. Okay. They were about to do a deal with this investor from Japan where he was going to put another $4 billion into it. And that company was never profitable, ever. It didn't even have the potential of being profitable because the CEO was basically just funneling all the money into his own personal account. So he ended up leaving the company with over $700 million in the bank and all the real estate because he proposed the deal that he would purchase the real estate and the company had to lease it from him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that guy gets to just resign, right?
Yeah.
He
probably had a golden parachute to go with it.
he has a net worth of $1.4 billion, and he absolutely just destroyed a company and took people's money. That's it. And the fact that people get to do that with no repercussions, you know what I mean? That is the worst part of capitalism, for sure. And it's just pretty disgusting to see some of those things out there.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. I can't wait to do it.
Give me some money. I like money.
Sorry, I don't have a drink. Oh boy, I wish we had video.
Oh boy, sorry, Pinky, I left you hanging there.
Yeah. What are you doing anyways, man? Did you forget
It's
you're
okay.
on a broadcast here?
Yeah, we haven't even heard you talk for like 10 seconds. Zach's going to be shocked.
Nah, I was letting you guys just,
I'm talking to people.
let it breathe a little bit. You guys were rolling.
Aaron likes economics and politics.
I love all of
finance.
it. I'm with him.
There's
a
very
lot to
smart
discuss.
guy.
We're trying to keep it more.
I don't know sports, so I got to talk about what
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole show on all the other stuff that's happening in America.
That's true,
I
actually.
mean, it'd be easy. But
That'd be fun.
yeah, check out Mark Cuban. If you haven't heard about this, it's pretty incredible. And I've been a big Mark Cuban fan since he bought the Dallas Mavericks. I think he is the best owner in
I know
sports.
one of the things that's going around, because the doctor's office I go to, the main doctor is doing it in Denver, and he's bringing the program down to the Springs, where you pay almost like a subscription fee or something.
Yeah. You pay just a monthly fee and you get
Yeah.
access to everything. And then any a la carte things like blood tests or whatever, you just pay, or
Yeah.
you run that through your insurance.
Yeah, the kicker about that is like, last 5 years, I didn't have to do anything. This year, I got to go figure out what the hell's wrong with my back. And guess what? My deductible hasn't been hit yet.
Well, the issue I ran into, right, because when you get that service, because I actually tried it, I was like, this seems like a good deal, right? Until you show up and they're like, hi, I'm the nurse practitioner. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought I was seeing a doctor.
I've
Listen, no offense to nurse practitioners, because in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, they probably know more than doctors because they deal with more people and more common things. But the issue is, if I'm going to pay money for something and you're going to put it as, here's your doctor, and then you just show up and you get nurse practitioners.
Funny you say that because all my migraine stuff is actually through the nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
I saw the actual neurologist once a year just for him to look at my chart and say, all right, we're good. And push me out the door.
Yeah.
So, well, whatever.
All right, so that's probably enough on nonsense.
Right. The FDA is going to come for
Now
us.
that everybody's got our medical history here,
Right.
we'll move along a little bit.
Before we get too far,
Sponsored by Viagra.
Cialis is good too,
Okay.
from what I hear.
From what you hear, I'm still solid, so I don't need to worry about any of that.
I'm not there yet.
I actually did hear though that people who took Viagra, because it's a what do you call it?
It's a blood circulatory.
No, vasodilator
Yes.
or something like
Yes.
that. Anyways, so
Inflammatory.
no.
It helps
It
put
dilates
yeah.
your blood vessels.
helps put oxygen in the blood vessels and allow the flow to be better.
Anyways, the reason why that's important is because obviously the more dilated your vessels are, the more nitrous oxide you can actually get through your body, which is one of the biggest ways to fight dementia. So they found that people who regularly took Viagra had a 70% less likely chance of having dementia.
Weird.
Yeah, because they're starting to realize that most brain disease is actually because of uric acid, which your body can't get rid of due to certain things as you get older.
Funny you bring that up. Let's, always about sports here, right, fellas? Get up about a month ago, I want to say, about a month ago. Bart Scott was actually talking about how back when he played, they used to pop Viagra on the regular in cold games because it would circulate the blood more and get it moving and keep the body warmer. So he's like, and everybody is looking at him like, what? Or he's like, yo, hang on, guys. Like, this was not created as an erectile dysfunction drug. It was for something else, specifically blood circulation.
Yeah.
And it happened to work for that. So we were using it before it was really popular as the ED medication to help stay warm on the sidelines and during games. And I was like, to be an NFL player or professional athlete at any level, really for that matter, the access you have to any drug you want is mind-boggling.
It
to
wasn't
me.
until I watched Any Given Sunday, and you just watch like the guys like, yeah, sure, write you up, like, and just injecting stuff, and you know it, man. You know, those guys are getting all types of.
Well,
painkillers.
Tyler Skaggs is you guys familiar with Tyler Skaggs? California Angels pitcher who died in his hotel room 2 years ago on a road trip.
Might have heard it, but
Drug overdose, basically, is what happened. Found out the trainer was prescribing him a bunch of stuff under the table to support his habit. Well, his trial's going on right now, and some dudes just testified that, yeah, that was definitely going on.
Well,
And there's a big issue with it.
yeah, of course. But the thing is, everyone knows about it.
Yeah, they just don't do anything about it. This is also why so many professional athletes want marijuana legalized, which is also why so many leagues no longer test for it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's very performance enhancing unless you're having
it's
it.
not performance.
Unless it's like a food eating competition.
Nah, even then, it's not really. You're gonna get focused on something stupid while you're trying to eat your food.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not gonna go balls to the walls.
Right.
Like, nah, it wouldn't work for that either.
Instead, it took him 6 hours to eat the 50 hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
He kept getting distracted.
Tiny bite of pie at a time
went
because
like,
it's so good and you're
"Oh, it's
savoring
so
it.
good, man."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's
so good.
yeah, it's not no.
And then you got the bun here, and it's good too.
He kept calling Uber Eats for different things.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
then
like,
you're
boy,
sitting
it's
there
slow
going, I don't
down.
need to dunk the bun in the water. I can just drink it. Oh, it's so Yeah, it's not gonna.
Dirty cotton mouth.
Yeah.
I did have something that I think will make Caleb happy.
Well, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
The first time I actually watched a little bit of the Olympics.
What'd you watch?
Whatever came on after the Super Bowl. It was actually
It was an accident.
it was actually women's bobsledding. And my wife was just like, no, I gotta watch this. I gotta watch it.
It was the monobob, actually.
Yeah, whatever that is, yeah.
Which is crazy. Really cool.
Wait,
You know what? I watched
It's one person in a bobsled, basically. So
I watched like
it's
5
not
or
like the
6 of these
4
ladies.
people that you usually see on a bobsled.
Yeah.
So they call it monobob.
I watched 5 or 6 of these.
Uh-huh.
Every single one looked the same.
like
It just looked like it was different colors on the sled or whatever, but the actual race part of it looked the same. Like there was nothing different about it.
how could it possibly look different?
I don't know. I was just like, there's nothing compelling about this at all.
You know what?
Except I'm like, there's a plus 50 sign here, or there's a -1 sign here, like 'cause they're like a second behind. You're like,
If it's
nothing's
green or all you know is
Nothing
it
was
green or
compelling
red?
about it.
Green or red, green or red.
That was literally like sitting there saying, every lap of that NASCAR race pretty much looked the same.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while there's a different car that crossed the line first.
And it was
but-
funny. I was like, honey, like, it's already 9 o'clock. Wanna go? No, we got to watch this. I was like, do we?
I'm a big fan, but again, I
That's-
know I'm a bit of a minority there.
The only thing I was really impressed by was that, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Tirico.
probably-
Mike Tirico
Right, Tirico?
was announcing the Olympics from the field of SoFi. He was still on the field.
Oh, he's flying back.
Well, no. They did the Super Bowl. They did the trophy presentation. He was on the field. He cut into
Yeah.
the Olympics. He announced the rest of those events from the field because they'd come back and show him.
You
and
know,
he's
he
still
was
on the field
in
of SoFi.
China up until last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Then flew up back to LA to do the Super Bowl, and then I believe today he was supposed to be back in China, I believe, so that he can be there for the final and the closing ceremonies. Talk about some jet lag, dude.
Who's this guy?
Mike Tirico?
Yeah.
He's mainly
He's going to be
guy.
the new Al Michaels, or however you want to think of famous broadcasters.
He's like one of the biggest guys on ESPN right
Why does
No,
he
he's NBC now.
now. Is he NBC?
Yeah, he left ESPN because NBC is giving him the Al Michaels position, basically. Al Michaels wants nothing to do with NBC anymore, and it sounds like he's going to make $100 million to go do Amazon next year.
Amazon's going to throw dumb money at somebody.
Yeah, because they don't care.
don't.
It's monopoly money to them at this point.
blows my mind, man.
I mean, when your broadcast rights are $5 billion, you can afford to throw $100 million at somebody and let them be the face of the situation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you look at so they were talking about Joe Rogan and how much money he made, right? He was paid $100 million. from Spotify. And most people are like, that's a lot of money. And then you look and you're like, oh, Spotify makes $140 million a month.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like not too impressed. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's,
I mean, it's a lot of money for him, but in the
Sure.
grand scheme of what the business is doing, it's, dropping the bucket.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
Then what people don't understand too, though, is corporations need to run zero every year. That's how they avoid taxes.
yeah.
Because you're spending more than you're earning. People don't get it. Like that's incentivized because if you're spending money, that money's going places, right? It's either going to the state that you're spending in, or it's stimulating the economy. Because if they're sitting there spending $5-6 billion on stuff, that means companies somewhere are making $5-6 billion.
It's kind of like the art thing. Why do a lot of rich people buy art? Because it's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
And then when you sell it, you
And
get
it's
to
an
keep all of
asset.
the benefit,
Yeah.
and you never have to pay tax on it. Like, the loopholes are incredible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's reasons all of these things happen. And like you said, it's incentivized through law.
Yeah.
So there's a reason they continue to do it.
Listen, the people who do it didn't write it, so I'm like, don't get pissed off at them. You know what I mean? It's like they're only utilizing what's in the tax codes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of incentivizing, Zach's probably not very thrilled right now because baseball is slowly killing itself again. And they were supposed to have pitchers and catchers report for spring training today. Baseball was supposed to start today, and they're still in lockout. And now the MLB is saying, you know what? This is what we'd really like to see happen. We want to cut roughly, I think it was 900 players from minor league baseball because baseball, being the MLB, doesn't want to have to use their funds to supply health care and travel expenses and such and such and such and such to these players any longer. So what they want to see is not have to pay for any of it and let them fend for themselves. And if you can create an independent league, cool. If you can't, you're all screwed. What baseball doesn't realize, apparently, is the grassroots is what actually kind of keeps baseball alive. And if you're going to concentrate on just professional baseball, I give it 20 years.
Isn't that like firing the frontline employees and letting the executives take all the money? Isn't that basically the same concept? I was just checking it because that was kind of my understanding of it.
Players Union isn't even listening to the offers. That's why I was telling you guys the other week that they've hired an outside arbitrator because I think that's going to benefit their case. What's funny is basically baseball has given away things over the years to accommodate the players to an extent and make it feel like they got what they wanted. And now they're trying to basically like take most of it back.
There's a lot of money paid in baseball to the biggest players.
Oh, baseball contracts are crazy. They're like basketball contracts.
And they do get benefit. Like if you've been in the league more than a certain amount of time, you get like benefits for life, and you get a minimum salary for life as well.
Do?
So there's some extra benefits in there that are a little bit better than most places.
That's only if you're a major league baseball player.
The one thing that baseball does, other than other sports, like when you are that young player that's really damn good, you don't make that much money.
No, baseball's backwards. They pay everybody once they hit like 35 and they give them a 10-year, $100 million contract,
Right.
which makes no sense. And then they get mad that they gave a 35-year-old a $100 million contract. Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado,
Pujols.
Pujols isn't even in this category. That's how crazy these contracts have gotten.
His contract
Those
was
three
pretty bad,
specific,
though.
it's a terrible contract, but these three are about to be even worse because Nolan got $380 million 10-year deal. I think he's 34. Bryce Harper just got, it was like 460 10-year deal or something like that. He's 30. Like they're paying him after their prime. So with baseball, you have to have a career that's Hall of Fame, then they'll pay you. Problem with that is you're no longer going to be a Hall of Fame player after you got that big contract.
Correct.
Basketball, you got a 19-year-old. He does his 3-4 year rookie deal. Now he's eligible for a max contract based on his years. That's where basketball has done such a brilliant job of this. Yeah, their max contracts are absurd. Yeah, their contracts are guaranteed. But there's a pay scale. So based on your first max deal, you can make X amount. Then, based on your next max deal, you can now make X amount more because you're a veteran. Baseball doesn't do that. They're completely backwards. And then you got football, who's just screwing every player left and right because they don't want to guarantee anything. And I think that's a joke. The way football contracts are written is crazy.
Well, over the last couple of years, they're getting more guaranteed money than they did in the past. But that's
yeah, because the players are finally going.
That's because they're fighting for it.
That basketball player who's sitting on the bench for most of the game just got a $100 million deal. Why am I the face of the NFL and I'm only getting 50?
In the biggest sports league in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, we would probably say soccer's pretty close.
No. There is no soccer league that competes with the NFL. There are soccer leagues who are up there, but I don't think there's any one league that competes with the NFL on that monetary level. So, yeah, but baseball is... Look, I've been saying it for a while. They refuse to change. They think they can stay in 1900 and they're still going to be America's pastime, which they haven't been for 50 years probably, 40 years.
What's funny is there's less interest in baseball today when you have more access to baseball. You can pull up your phone and watch it. You can pull up, you have more access to it, and yet there's less people watching it.
Well, yeah, I think that speaks volumes that you're only popular when there's nothing else to watch. So
even then, I'm like, oh, is there old TV shows I could rewatch again?
You know, I'm referring to back 30, 40 years ago. Like, what else were they going to do? You know what I mean? I guess I could go outside.
I mean, you have your like Zach, who will watch every Rockies game. You have those guys out there. They're there.
Oh, there's plenty of them still. The problem is the generation isn't following them. Like our generation, Zach, Dan, they are the end of that.
Oh, yeah.
Their kids aren't doing that anymore.
No way.
They don't want to sit there and watch those boring-ass games. I am obsessed with sports. I watch everything. I have a hard time dealing with baseball. And I think there's easy little tweaks they could make that would make the game so much more interesting to watch. But when you have pitchers taking 5 minutes to throw a pitch, you have batters constantly backing out of the box because their gloves weren't tight enough. Like, there's so many things wrong with baseball right now that they don't want to address at all. So, you know what? Go ahead, strike. Guess what's going to happen when you come back? Ask hockey.
I'm just going to flip that channel over to the World's Strongest Man competition.
There you go. Hey, those people work really hard and they don't get paid anything.
Those guys are awesome.
Pride, baby.
That's
it's a
right.
beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think baseball, if they really do strike, if they miss the start of the season, which in all likelihood it looks like it's going to happen, it will be the beginning of the end of baseball. I firmly believe that.
Then 94, right? That was the last one?
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that one was so bad.
In 94, like...
They did it in August, Pinky.
If
the players struck... Now, this time it's a lockout, so that means the owners are locking out the players, which is what happened 10 years ago. And they had a shortened season. Not by much, but they had a shortened season. 94, the players locked out because they knew what was about to happen with the owners in August. The beginning of August. You're 3/4 of the way done with the season.
Yeah.
You already have a good idea who the best teams are, who's going to be in everything. MVP, everything. Players walked out because of how bad it was. That almost ruined baseball. It took it took steroids and McGuire and Sosa to put them back in the public
Sosa
spotlight.
and McGuire did not have that year, the interest in
baseball would have
never
never
came
recovered.
back.
It would have never recovered. And that's what's about to happen. I will say it with everything I believe. If they do not start this season on time, baseball will slowly die.
I still find hockey to be a more enjoyable sport than baseball because there's more going on. Hockey struggled after their lockout.
Hockey's still struggling.
I mean, they're getting better.
They just now were able to get a deal back with ESPN to air games. That's how long it took for even ESPN to say, not really worth our time.
I still need the red line. I need the red line on the puck. I do.
It was a blue dot.
Was it a blue dot? No. Fox used to have a red line. It would kind of the red line would go right behind the puck.
Oh, I don't even remember the blue dot.
No, yeah.
You watch it enough, you get used to where it's going, and you forget about that.
Yeah, I was in a bar the other day, though, and hockey was on. I could not tell what was going on.
It's too fast.
Because, the puck moves so quickly that you just...
Maybe you guys move too slow.
I'm old, man. I don't want to have to wear my glasses everywhere, okay? Like, I should be able to tell where the puck is, and I can't. That's what really...
It's a common
kills it.
complaint with hockey. I liked the blue dot personally because it made it a little easier to follow, but the more I watched it, the more I realized it gets to the point where you have a feel for
You have an
what's
idea
happening.
where it's at, because, again, that's where the camera's at, but...
The only thing that's hard is was that a goal? Wait, did that... Oh, yeah, the red light behind the net went on. Okay, yeah, we scored. Yay!
My opinion in regards to baseball is in a way, I think poorly run organizations deserve to fail. And they're not going to get any pity from me. Especially when people try so hard to educate people to do the right things, and for some reason they just don't. I'm like, don't care.
I'll say it again, and Zach hates me. Dan was kind of on the fence, but plain and simple, baseball hasn't evolved in 100 years. They haven't done anything different in 100 years. It's the same thing from 100 years ago. Every other sport in the world has done things to evolve it a little bit.
Yeah.
Soccer is about the only one I can think of that tennis maybe, golf.
Yeah.
But like the equipment's grown and changed, so now they're hitting the ball faster, harder, longer. Baseball hasn't done any of that. You can go get the same bat from 1900 and it's the same one they're using now. Wood. You can't cork it. It's probably a good idea. You should probably start looking at that baseball. Everybody loves the long ball, right? Well, let's just let them cork the bats. Who cares?
Right?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
This isn't Little League where you're worried about the speed of the ball coming at the pitcher and hitting him in the head.
They should be able
The
to.
hitters are already trying to hit home runs all the time. Why not let it even more?
Yeah. They should be able to shoot up in the bullpen. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I don't mind.
they let it go to save baseball. Why not just let it go now?
Yeah, I don't.
My thing, and I'll keep
Embrace
saying it. I will keep saying it to the day I die. Baseball is foolish for not using the technology and removing the human element of the ump. It is the only sport.
Aren't they doing that in AAA?
It was tried out last year. The players absolutely hated it, which makes no sense to me. This is why baseball and I have such a terrible relationship.
I mean, I can tell you why they don't like it, because sometimes being subjective is in their favor.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather just get used to knowing this is always the strike zone and now I can actually know what I'm hitting?
I mean, I would.
Instead of having a guy behind the plate going, today I'm going to call it 3 feet outside. And then the guy tomorrow's like, I'm going to do 3 feet inside.
Hey, I got a big titty blonde over here that's hurting my peripheral. I think that's a ball.
It is the only sport, literally. I can't think of another sport. Tennis probably could get away with it.
Tennis, volleyball.
But you still need the head ump to.
You got that line.
You still need the chair umpire to be able to call what the computer did, which is exactly all baseball needs. You need an ump behind the plate to relay what the computer just told him. Ball, strike, out, safe. Done. It is that simple in baseball. There is no objective. There are no subjective calls in baseball. There's not. There are zero subjective calls in baseball.
Either was a home run or it was a foul ball.
It was either out or safe.
Right?
Strike or ball. There are no subjectivity in baseball. Football has plenty of subjectivity. Holding, defensive pass interference. There are lines where there is an interpretation to the rule. Baseball doesn't have an interpretation to those rules. It is or it isn't.
Baseball is one of the few sports that, I completely agree with you, Caleb.
Chinky.
It is completely it is completely black or white.
So
there's no gray area there.
And yes, that's kind of an extreme that baseball could jump to right away. But there are little things. Personally, I think having a DH is an atrocious idea.
Oh, I love it.
I hate it.
I don't want my pitchers who suck at hitting up there hitting. I don't.
They only suck because they don't practice hitting. Guess what happens if you are forced to then practice something? You become decent at it.
I don't want it.
Pinky,
I like the DH.
There are pitchers now.
I'm excited about that.
Pinky, there are pitchers now who hit better than the 8 and 9 spot guys already. That's a problem, and baseball doesn't care.
I like the DH, bro.
Ugh, terrible.
You won't talk me out of it.
Terrible.
Well, there went that agreement. That was short-lived.
Short-lived.
Yeah.
You do one thing and one thing only. Everybody else does everything.
I want
Field
my
position
big
players-
fat guys that can hit home runs that don't have to do anything else but
Right.
hit the ball. They don't have to go play right field.
Ugh,
They don't have to play first base.
gross.
They can just hit the ball. That's all I want. Let me have what I want, Caleb. God.
You can still have that. It's called a pinch hitter.
No. I want
Bring him in and let him pinch
I want
hit.
him to play. I want him to hit 4 times every game. That's what we're getting.
Hate it.
I love it.
Hate it.
Love it.
So,
But yeah, baseball's about to kill itself. Zach,
yay.
go ahead and get angry. But you know as well as I do if that strike goes
I
through,
mean, as long
there's
as
gonna be
guys
issues.
like Zach keep going to Rockies games, they,
That's a whole other issue yeah.
Hey, Kroenke cares more about winning his Super Bowl than he did anything else. So,
Kroenke's slowly becoming one of the worst owners in sports, in my opinion.
I think the Rams would differ.
The Rams would, absolutely. The Nuggets, the Avs, the Arsenal, the Mammoth, the Rapids would all say otherwise.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All the other teams he owns
Yeah.
that supply the funds for the Rams would probably not agree that he's a great owner.
We should probably talk about the Super Bowl.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We're not done
way.
with baseball yet.
we're
we're done with
We're
baseball.
done with baseball.
We're done with
I'm like
baseball.
flatline that. And
Yeah,
move
That's
no,
on.
about
that's-
as far as I can
Yeah,
go
that
on
was
baseball.
done.
Okay,
We're
good.
done.
All
Yeah,
right.
that was.
Well, what else we got on the agenda? when it comes to-
I would like to discuss for a moment the giant Olympic controversy that's going on because I think it's wild.
Olympics are a joke.
They are. I mean, I understand why people say that. I still love them, but I think it's a joke, and I've said this before. I think it's a joke that a country like China is allowed to host them. I think it's a joke that Russia is still allowed to participate under the Russian Olympic Committee rather than Russia. But for those that don't know, Avilia Ketalavov or something along those lines, 15-year-old Russian figure skater, tested positive for a heart medication that's on the ban list because it basically allows more oxygen into your system and allows your heart to process a little bit more efficiently, I guess is the best way
What
to
sport
describe
did
it.
she do?
Ice skating. Women's figure skating. So it allows you to go
Real heavy on the cardio there, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it is pretty heavy on cardio.
it absolutely
It
is.
really is.
Yeah.
Ice skating, yeah.
Big time. And so it allows her to go more at full speed for a longer duration of her what do they call them? Not set. Routine.
Routine, yeah.
And so this happened back in December when the test came back, when the test was taken. It was not confirmed as a positive test until the day after her team won the team ice skating gold. Then it came out that she had tested positive back in December for this medication. So everybody wants her out, banned. She shouldn't participate. I agree. You test, you're done. That's kind of black and white rule. The kicker to all of this is multi-layered, though. First of all, Russia doesn't care what anybody says. Obviously, they had a state-enhanced doping ring going on at the Olympics where they were hosting. Let's just,
And we're banned from the Olympics, but, we don't care.
it's being hosted in a country who they're buddies with, and both of them don't like the West interfering in their business. So what did Russia say? As an Olympic committee, we're not stopping her. We want her to still compete. The IOC was like, wait, no. They're like, well, we'll just take it to the Court of Arbitration. Good old Switzerland. They're always there for everybody. Court of Arbitration said she's allowed to compete now while the case is being heard. So she's in. So then the IOC goes, okay, fine. If that's how you're going to be, we're just not going to hold any medal ceremonies for any event that she medals in. So they're not just going to screw her. They're going to screw any other athletes that might have had their moment in the sun. So you got Russia saying F you. You got China going along with it and saying, yeah, man, we're good with all of this. Let it ride. It's good for the Olympics. Everybody likes it. Russia's our buddy. Hey, America, big middle finger. Now, here's where it gets multi-layered. The athlete in question is only 15. In a country that is notorious for do what you're told or don't be heard from again. So a minor who probably didn't even know the medication she was taking was on a banned substance list. And if she did, I would venture to guess, had no say in whether or not she took said medication, is at the center of this controversy. Now, that's bad enough, right? Well, let's throw another wrench into the thing, because there was a Shariri, oh man,
I don't know, man.
Richardson, Miss Richardson,
She smoked some weed.
from last Summer Olympics, a year and a half ago. She won her race. She's about to qualify for the Olympics. Day after her race, she goes and smokes a bunch of pot, apparently, because her mom had passed away. If I believe I'm getting the story correct. And
At least a family member.
A family member. She needed to cope, and that's how she decided to cope. This woman is an adult. Let's keep that in mind. She has come out now in the last 2 days and said, the only difference I see between these two situations is the color of my skin. Little 15-year-old girl from Russia's white. I'm a black American woman. Only reason I wasn't allowed to participate is because I'm black. I am all for calling the cards as they lie, and if it's racist, it's racist. No problem saying it. I don't see anywhere in this scenario that race played anything to do with any of this.
So the fact that it was two different countries,
So that's where I'm going next.
matter.
Guess what? The IOC didn't say Richardson couldn't participate.
we did.
America.
Yeah.
Because America's list of banned substances is a little bit different than everybody else's. She knew. She came out and said, I know, and I still did it. And now she's trying to say that because she's black, that's the only reason she wasn't allowed to participate. And because this little 15-year-old white girl is white, she's allowed to still participate. To me, that is so narrow-minded and so ignorant to even bring that up when there are so many other factors going on in that situation that had nothing to do with race whatsoever. So now it's an even bigger story than it already was.
Do you mind if I put my 2 cents in?
By all means, that's what you're here for.
Why I don't like the Olympics. Because Russia is about to invade Ukraine, and he said if the United Nations get involved, it's going to turn into a nuclear war, and nobody's going to win. And then we just skim past that and let's go see how you do in the Olympics, right? I'm like, okay, this guy's threatening nuclear war, and we're gonna complain about getting medals.
Be cool if Putin's the one that ended the world. I'm sure that's what he's looking for. You really want to test the balls on America? It's probably not a good idea.
I'm just saying, it's like, how am I supposed to possibly care about those things? You know, when it comes to the games, when you have that kind of conflict, and then you're supposed to just pretend that nothing's going on.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because that was the last thing I was going to talk about at the Olympics. The Ukrainian athletes at the Olympics right now have been asked how they feel about what's going on, and they are scared shitless, is basically the comments coming back. How are we supposed to compete when we have family members who might be stuck in the middle of a war at home?
They're training their citizens on how to defend themselves.
Yep.
And we're seeing how well we ice skate. I don't get it. I don't get any of this at all.
Out of sight, out of mind, baby. The games are in a country notorious for human rights violations.
Yeah.
Like, the Olympics don't care about people. They care about a bottom dollar.
That's my point. That's why I don't care about it at all. Because it's so ridiculous. Because listen, if those people cared about their countries, they wouldn't compete. They wouldn't do anything, right? And you want to know what? I say, how about we work on getting rid of homelessness in our country before we start putting all this money into people going and doing things like that.
So, totally understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you to an extent. Where I will disagree with you, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm pounding the table disagreeing with you, but I will disagree with you in the sense that I have believed ever since I can remember, sport is the one common denominator that can bring anyone and everybody together. And you can forget about politics, race, religion, everything.
Well,
it can all go out the window, and you can...
At the end of the day, sports are entertainment. That's what it's supposed to do.
No, that's where I disagree with this, especially at the Olympics. Yes, it entertains, but it's more of a coming together than anything else. If you've watched these Olympics at all, the amount of athletes from all countries that cheer on each other because of the camaraderie that individual sport creates for them, and it becomes a little family almost, and the way it can bring those people together is incredible.
So as athletes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
As a consumer, I want to be entertained. What I'm looking to watch is something that takes me out of my own world, takes away my problems.
I would
So-
say that's an American mindset on sports, not a worldview on sports.
Well, what are they doing it for?
The athlete,
Yeah.
they're not getting paid. This
I
is
mean-
a strict pride. They do get paid. Let's not. They make money being Olympians, but you go to win a gold medal strictly on pride and to prove you are the best at that thing. It's not, I'm going to get $100 million contract after this. Now, if you win gold, you do get a lot of benefit from it, but they're not, the years of training that they put in, they're not getting paid to do that. A lot of the times they're putting in their own money and their own time and effort and everything else
So
to get to that point.
in some countries where you may
America
not have a
countries.
very good life, regardless, when you are an athlete, at least you've got food and housing, and you've got some, clothing. We're a little spoiled here in America. Like, we already have those things.
Sure.
So for a lot of athletes, that's a pretty good life.
Dude, most Olympic athletes are not doing well financially. They're struggling financially because they're putting all their money into their training. That's why a lot of these stories become so amazing. Now, they end up getting rich a lot of the times if you win gold after the fact. But if you listen to a lot of these Olympic stories, mom and dad put everybody in the car, rented a one-bedroom apartment so this person could train at this specific facility, and they're spending all this money to try and help them achieve their goals by hiring coaches or gym time or whatever else it may be. So the Olympics to me are pure sport, as pure as you can get. Now, they're not very popular sports, especially here in America a lot of the times, but it's a pure sport where you're doing it for the sport, not for the dollar. And I think that's what I love so much about the Olympics, because when they win, it is truly, I put my heart and soul into this to get to this point, and I've finally been able to achieve what I set out to do. Where you see a lot of professional athletes in America, it's just a job. The ones that become great are the ones who actually cared about it. 90% of the rosters, though, just see it as a paycheck. You know what I mean? They don't really care if they win or lose. They get paid either way. I don't see that in Olympians. But again, I love the Olympics. You guys don't. So the view and the perspective is always going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, no, especially in America. I don't know. I guess I just don't get it because there are a lot of other people in this country that work just as hard as them just to make ends meet. So it's really difficult for me to have really kind of sympathy when it comes to that.
I'm not looking for sympathy, more of
I'm just saying don't call it a sacrifice when it's a decision, right? Because those are two very different things. To sit there and say, oh, well, we're doing this and we're giving up this. No, you made a choice to do that. You're not giving anything up. You made a choice to do it. And if my kid sat there and said, oh, I want to be this Olympic athlete or whatever, cool, work really hard and I'm going to put a roof over your head and I hope you get there. I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm going to give up everything about my life so you can achieve your goals. I'm giving you the opportunity for you to chase goals by taking care of these things. I don't understand that mentality when it comes to that, because that, in my opinion, is like the, I don't know, that kind of just grosses me out.
I mean,
So.
again, I see where you're coming from, but I think personally in America, if you're willing to bust your ass, you're always going to be able to make a better life for yourself. There's very few people who truly can't change the situation they're in America. I just feel like that's a cop out. If you say you're stuck in something and you're in America, you're just too lazy to go work your ass off to get what you want. That's truly
there's
what
a lot
I
of
feel.
people that work their ass off but just don't know what they don't know to get ahead.
So go educate yourself. There's plenty of ways to do that for free now. I mean,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but when you grow up in poverty, it's a much different story.
not going to disagree. There is a inherent what's the word I'm looking for? There is it's kind of ingrained into the culture in yourself. So it's hard to break that cycle. I get that. But and I've said it before, it's one of those things where you hear about not even, I'm not even going to say a race of people, just living in a poor inner city area.
Yeah.
There's that, don't be a rat, don't snitch. When you know the crack house on the corner is the crack house on the corner. But when the cop comes and asks you if you know, you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
No. You do know, and if you want a better life, you say the crack house is on the corner. Then the drugs leave the neighborhood and the neighborhood improves. If you're not willing to do that, and you have some kind of code within yourself that says, I'm not going to rat on the drug dealer that's shooting up the streets my kids are walking on, that's on you. Like, you have an opportunity to make your life better, and you're choosing not to do it. So while, yes, it is ingrained, at some point you either choose to break the cycle or you don't. We were talking about it the other week. Kanye said, everybody was like, you're a sellout. He's like, hell yeah, I am. Why would I want to perpetuate a culture that only wants a new European car, wants to glorify the drug dealer, and talk about screwing women all the time? Like, why would I want to promote that culture? I don't want to be part of that culture. I did enough good for myself. I can get away from that culture. And I'm going to say it's a bad culture. People call Kanye crazy. They call him a sellout and Uncle Tom. Nah, man, he's breaking the cycle. So, yes, I agree with you to an extent that there are people who, I won't say cannot, but the difficulty level of being able to change your situation is far greater than anything I ever had to deal with. I was born into a sweet little situation as far as I'm concerned. Middle-class America, one of the best school districts in Colorado, got a great education. My parents sacrificed some stuff. I had to sacrifice things growing up as a kid where we were considered the poor family where I grew up. Mm-hmm. So my friends are all going on Mexico trips on spring break and summer vacations down to Disney World and everything. I was playing basketball in my backyard. But the benefit of my parents' sacrifice for us to be in that situation has allowed me to improve my situation as I get older. So I'm grateful for that. But I'm also not going to sit here and be, I could have done exactly what my parents did, and gone to another area and kind of worked a menial job and not improved. But that's not how I was raised. That's not how I was taught. You take what you were given and you go make something out of it. You get 1 cent, you double it and find a way to make it 2. So, yes, there is absolutely a mindset. But if you're not willing to talk about it, does the mindset ever change?
No, somebody has to make a change.
So, there's truths to all of it. But going back to the Olympics, I do feel it is the most pure form of sport.
I mean, sure.
It's the only thing I consider amateur athletics anymore.
I mean, I won't disagree with that. I just, it's just too difficult for me to care.
That's fair.
With everything else that's going on. I just don't think that should be priority when it comes to anything, to be honest.
I get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it. And I'm not going to disagree with that. There's a lot of things that could change real quickly if people started caring more about life in general than Hollywood.
Sure. Absolutely.
So absolutely agree. If you're not familiar with the stories that we were just talking about, it's worth a read. I think the layers are insanely deep. So check it out. There's some other really cool Olympic stories going on too, but I won't get into that with you guys now.
Shifting gears to Hollywood. Happened to have a big game this last weekend.
Did we?
We did.
I don't remember a big game. I remember a big concert. No, did I miss something?
That was definitely one of my favorite halftime shows.
Easy.
The game wasn't that good, Pinky.
God.
It's pretty good.
The last 5 minutes were good. 6 minutes. When did he start to drive? 7 minutes? 7 minutes left in the game? That was good. The rest of the game was not that good. Pretty boring. Not very good play calling. The defense was even suspect. It was not a good Super Bowl. As far as I'm concerned, it was not a good game.
You're a pretty tough person to please.
I thought it was pretty good.
So.
Entertained.
Listen,
few people at my house were entertained.
It wasn't a 13-3 defense fest. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
So,
I thought that Super Bowl was as good as this one.
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, at least now we know where his calibration
Right.
lies. Yeah.
The play calling on both sides was atrocious, in my opinion. Atrocious. Mixon had 15 carries and 75 yards. He should have easily been at 22, 25 carries and 150 plus. Cincinnati wins that game if they do that.
That was a big play, pass happy offense all year, though. Like,
Don't care.
I'm a defense, run the ball kind of guy. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that that goes against what they were.
Yeah, no. A smart coach goes, I'm in the Super Bowl and I've got a dude who's rolling over everybody. I'm going to change my play calling up a little bit.
I'm going to do what I have to do to win. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I will
I'm
also
just saying
say
it just goes against what
probably
they do.
the worst ref Super Bowl I can ever remember.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
And that's based on two
way.
calls.
No way.
Simply two calls.
No way.
Cincinnati shouldn't have even been in the game, Pinky. That face mask that Higgins pulled on Ramsey the first play of the
agree.
second half.
I agree.
That TD shouldn't have even happened. That was so blatant to miss that. That call right there could have made it the worst officiated Super Bowl in the history.
I mean, there's always a few calls missed or
The
maybe-
holding call at the end of the game, everybody's complaining about.
Yeah.
Bad call, but here's the deal. It was on first down, people. First down. Why is everybody getting so up in arms on a call that cost them the Super Bowl? No, it
Yeah.
didn't. They
And-
still would have had three more downs to get in the end zone.
And 2 downs later, he actually had an actual legit holding call. So, I mean,
But terrible calls in really,
I don't
really
think they
obvious situations.
I don't think they impacted the overall outcome of the game, though.
Well, no, because the refs had to give a makeup call to correct their mistake.
I mean, that's probably what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I agree.
Yeah. Well,
But for the majority of the game,
Oh, I love the fact that
they
there
had
were no
lost-
penalties.
They had
Yeah.
lost their flags.
I love it when that happens.
yeah.
The problem
It
is
just sucks when they finally found where their flags were.
Yeah.
That they were like, okay, we're start throwing them now.
yep.
because they had to make up on such a blatant call. That's all that happened. When you miss that obvious of a call, you then start calling other things bad. It just happens.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't that entertained by the game. It was the Rams couldn't run the ball at all, which made no sense to me at all. Matt Stafford, everybody's coming away going,
Well,
he could have
hold
been
on,
the
hold
MVP, and he could have.
Through most of the season, the Bengals' rushing defense was top 5. Like
I'm
most
not
of the
saying
year.
they were bad. I'm saying
So-
for you to have 15 carries and 23 yards when that's supposed to be what sets up your offense, there's a problem.
At some point, you realize you're running into a brick wall and you're not getting anywhere. Like, you stop doing it.
So what did he do? Let's throw it downfield. No short intermediate routes, no screen passes, no.
Didn't have anybody they could trust.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and then he got hurt.
No, Van Jefferson was a go-to guy all year, and then all of a sudden,
Correct.
they
when
just sent him
everybody's
long
covering
every
Robert
play.
Woods and OBJ. Like,
Yeah,
I
well,
get it, but set him up for success then. I was disappointed in McVay for not putting him in better situations to get the ball in his hands.
you're out Robert Woods, you're out OBJ, and you're out Tyler Higbee. Like, the fact that they were, and again, the whole, like, with OBJ is Super Bowl MVP if he doesn't get hurt.
yeah. No, I think that's definitely.
He was going to have a gigantic game.
He was
Possibly.
He was, popping off.
on his way to that.
Because again, they were double covering Cup. and he's
Donald
wide
should have
open.
been the MVP.
I think,
You know what?
I think that's arguable for sure.
I
Donald
don't hate-
doesn't play in that game, the Rams lose.
that's
Sure,
probably true.
Sure, I don't hate the idea. I don't think. I mean, I would definitely say you had 3 options. You had Stafford, Cup, or Donald.
No, I don't think Stafford didn't do anything.
You're a quarterback. You throw almost 300. You had 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Wait.
Like most of the time, they win.
How many picks did he have though?
2.
One of
he
them
had
was-
one. He had one.
One of them was basically a punt. I'm not really going
The
to call
second
that
one
on
was
him.
off
And
of
the
the
second one was
dude's
off the dude's
hands.
hands. It was a bad catch on the wide receiver. He didn't do anything though to he had a lot of bad throws all night. Off target, not on.
He just didn't have any. He just
No, I don't want to hear he
He's
didn't have.
worked
No,
on
no,
the
no,
backups,
no, no, no,
man.
no, no. Excuses. If you're supposed
Look,
to be a dude who wins this Super Bowl and puts himself in the Hall of Fame, you should have been able to do more.
We all know if Robert Woods and OBJ were out there, it would have been different.
Yeah, I think they would have.
And Tyler Higbee.
Bengals
'Cause he
shouldn't have been
likes-
in the Super Bowl to
Stafford
begin
liked
with.
Higbee a lot.
Bengals got lucky. They went on a little bit of a run. They had the ball bounce their way every single time.
So
That never
I
happens.
agree. They had a lot of things go right. The one thing they did do all season. They played from behind, and they were able to come back and win. There's something to be said for that because they did it a lot.
They also lost to the Jets.
Well, they did that too. But they came from behind a lot this season.
Their quarterback got sacked 16 times in 2 playoff games.
70 overall.
70 for the season.
Yeah.
There is nothing on paper that says they should have been anywhere close to the Super Bowl.
So I mean, if you look at their offensive stats, yeah, that says that.
That Tennessee game was lost because
Well,
Tannehill's wide receivers couldn't catch the ball.
They had
And their
so
play calling
many.
was atrocious.
They had so many close games. Like when you look at it, like I think they had 7 games by 4 points or less. Those could easily go the other direction. They don't even make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is Andy Reid doing? Took his foot off the gas to come out in the second half. Like, so many things. They played Buffalo. I don't think there's any way
I think Buffalo smokes
they get
them.
smoked, right? Like,
I agree.
Bad matchup.
the Chiefs was a bad matchup. They were down, 21-3 at half?
Yeah.
That shouldn't have
21-10.
happened. Whatever.
21-10.
Like, Tennessee had them beat 3 different occasions in the fourth quarter and still lost somehow. Nothing. Joe Burrow didn't play great. He didn't play bad, but he didn't play great. Nothing about that game I walked away going, damn, I just watched a really good game. I thought it was cool Stafford was able to drive at the end of the game to get a touchdown and lead his team to victory. I felt good for what happened for those players, but I didn't walk away going, damn, that Super Bowl. I was ready to go watch the Olympics, man. Like, that Super Bowl didn't really do anything for me this year. It just didn't. There wasn't really a whole lot of excitement for me.
You weren't excited for it, period, before the game. So I'm not.
No,
I'm not surprised your
I
opinion was
enjoyed
no
it,
different
man.
afterwards.
There wasn't a lot to me that was like, yeah, this is going to be, I'm really looking forward to this.
I enjoyed it. I mean, the Rams were down in the fourth quarter. They had to come back. They had to have a game-winning drive. They gave the ball to the Bengals with 1.5 minutes left. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on there. It was a very quick Super Bowl. Like, it went by really
So,
quick.
like I said, last 6 minutes were really entertaining. But that, to me, does not make a game.
Is it one of the better, like, Super Bowls of all time? No. No, not at all. I still found it entertaining. But again, I didn't have a horse in the race, right?
Sure.
And I was like, if the Rams win, I'm happy with that. If the Bengals win, I'm cool with that too.
Maybe that's part of the reason I didn't find it as enjoyable is because I didn't really care one way or the other. Normally, I want a team to win. There is a team that I prefer to see win.
I really
I didn't
again,
have that this year.
I wanted Von Miller to get a second ring. I was selfish that way. I wanted that to happen.
I thought it'd be cool, but like I said, I thought it'd be cool if Joe won because, in my opinion, that sets him up as a Hall of Famer. Like,
if Joe wins, cool thing about that is now the hype's all on Joe, and we're not hearing Mahomes, Allen. Like, there's just so much. Like, that's the one thing I hate about all the talking heads out there, and there's a lot of them, and we're part of the talking heads, right? There's just so much hype on, like, as soon as Burrow beat Mahomes, all the hype was Burrow. All of it.
Yeah.
All the hype is the Bengals will be the top team in the AFC next year. Are they a dangerous team in the AFC? Sure. Are they the top team? Really?
No.
you ready for my
Really?
takeaways after the Super Bowl? I've got 3 major takeaways. Joe Burrow is on path to be Andrew Luck 2. Joe Burrow is about to be the next Dan Marino. And the Rams are going to be the next Bucks. Ready? I don't feel confident enough in Cincinnati that they're going to make the right decisions to fix that offensive line enough. I don't. I just don't. Whether it's through draft or free agency, I just feel like they're going to make the wrong choices. That I just don't have faith in Cincinnati to make
They
the
don't
right
have
decision.
a good track record.
They don't. So I feel like he is already on path to be Andrew Luck. He's also going to be Dan Marino because I don't see them getting back to the Super Bowl. As talented as he is and as talented as that team is, what he has to go through and the amount of young, crazy quarterback talent, especially on the AFC side right now, I think they're all going to kind of get a turn. And I don't see him getting back. I don't know why. I just don't.
I think he gets back. I don't know if he gets back right away.
And the Rams are going to be the next Bucks. And what I mean by that is they're going to bring everybody back, but they are so thin. The likelihood of them going another season
They're
being
super thin.
basically injury-free like they were this year is slim to none.
Well, isn't that why McVay's pretty much talking about retiring? Because I'm like, he ain't
Well,
getting
he's
there
supposedly
again.
getting married.
I honestly don't think that has anything to do with him. I think honestly what it is with him is he is a different guy. He's just a built different dude. And he has, and I haven't read anything. I don't know anything. This is my own 2 cents from 1,000 miles away. I think he is such a different dude that he's got levels that he wants to hit. And once those levels are hit, he's on to his next challenge. I don't think he's hit those levels yet. I think he's real close after winning a Super Bowl.
I think some of that retirement talk is, hey, my contract.
He wants a bigger contract, but here's the other thing: you can make $16 million like Tony Romo in the booth, or you can make $8 million on the sideline. You make 16. You can make $16 million working 40 hours a week, or you can make $8 million working 100 hours a week. So, like Pinky says, he's about to get married. He's been very adamant for a long time that he said once he has a family, he wants to be able to spend time with his family. I think this new breed of coaches coming up, this younger generation, I call it the Shanahan tree because they all seem to come off of it. They think about the game differently. They process it differently. They handle it differently. They go about their actions differently. And once they've felt like they've accomplished what they needed to, I would not be surprised if they all just go, I'm good. I'm going to go try something else now.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think that type of innovation really forces people to change the game.
I mean,
agreed.
If you, not every coach has McVay's charisma, and he looks good on camera, right? And he's a good-looking guy. He can make that money in broadcasting. He can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to go through the stress and the pressure coaching or go make that money in the booth? And he can probably make double or triple the money in the booth. So there is an allure there. Now, that's not for every coach. Not every coach has that charisma, has that ability to talk. Like, it's not going to be an option for everyone. He just happens to be one of the few guys that has that option. I don't see him leaving this year. I can see him in like a year or two as that we've traded all of our draft picks. We've put all this money out there. Now we're in salary cap hell. I could see him then being like, okay, I'm going to leave as we're going.
Oh, you mean what Brady just did? So that the Bucs will get another quarterback, and then once they have that new quarterback, they'll release Brady, and then he'll come out of retirement and go to his next team? Because that's the rumor mill right now with Brady.
I mean,
what team would he go to?
Don't know. But people don't believe he's actually retired. People believe this is his way, Brett Favreing his way out of Tampa Bay.
Oh, well, you know how well that went with Brett Favre. So
should have been in a championship game with Minnesota.
Not much to do with him.
What do you mean? The only reason they lost that game is because Adrian Peterson fumbled the ball.
That was his best year.
Yeah.
He
had like 4,000. Yeah.
Peterson fumbled twice in that game.
Yeah.
Against the Saints in 09?
Yeah. They were smoking him. Brett Favre was rolling.
Was it? Oh, okay.
And Adrian Peterson fumbled the ball twice.
I remember that way different. So
he wasn't great at the Jets, but once he forced his way out of the Jets and went to Minnesota,
he actually wasn't bad with the Jets. He got hurt.
Wasn't bad.
And then he wasn't as good.
Either way, he never wanted to be there in the first place. So it's not like he was putting his heart and soul into playing for the.
Nobody.
But yeah, Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
Cody's right. Tom Brady to San Fran is the rumor. He's trying to get to San Fran, which would work out because Trey Lance probably still needs a year.
Means they failed with Trey Lance, just like the Packers failed with Love. That's what that means.
Trey Lance still needs more time. Do I think you could run an offense with Trey Lance and maybe make the playoffs? Sure, I do.
So why do you think he needs more time?
I mean, he played 1 year of college football.
Say no more.
He took a whole year off.
We're good. We're good. You don't have to say it. If you had any other argument, we would have had a problem. But that perfectly is fine with me. And I'll agree with you on that. Problem is you spent a lot to get him. And if you're not going to get him on the field, he's not going to get better.
That's also like, well, I've got this guy, and I think he could be good. Or I could have Tom Brady, who I know can
Do
get
you
me to
though?
a Super Bowl.
At some point, he's got to drop off. At some point. Now, granted,
He
this
did just
year,
have his best statistical season.
second best statistical season after 2009, which was the Randy Moss
second
year.
out of
2007.
2007, sorry. Second best statistical year in his career. Yes, fully agree. That does not say, though, that next year could just be the drop-off.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, at some point, it's going to happen. At some point, it's going to happen. There is going to be a cliff that he hits.
I've been banging that for a long time, that Brady's going to fall off that cliff, and just hasn't, man.
He could play another 4 years before that happens.
Now, what could
Honestly.
happen is just he being an older guy, he could just turn like the wrong way and his knees busted. Like it happens, but if Brady wants to go play for San Fran, Trey Lance still needs a year or two. I don't hate it.
Here's the problem. Brady does Trey Lance no good because their games are so different. Yeah, he could learn how to read a defense maybe. But Trey Lance's game wasn't sitting in a pocket as a statue like Brady. Trey Lance is 1, 2, 3, read, gone. He's not staying in the pocket to dance around. He's running because he can.
Well,
So this isn't Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre to me, where you can learn something from that because your games are very similar. Trey Lance isn't going to grow under Brady. The way Trey Lance grows, in my opinion, is by getting on the field.
And I don't really care about Trey Lance growing at all. I'm talking about like you have a team that could win a Super Bowl. Like you go for it. I do not really care about
That's
Trey
true.
Lance.
They got-
No,
They
you know how I feel about that. All in every time. Done. If I can
have
get a
chance to
championship,
go all
I'm in.
Go all in. So I'm not caring about Trey Lance's development. If I have Tom Brady who wants to come play for me, and he still has something in the tank, and we can go to a Super Bowl, I'm going.
yeah, why not? And I honestly, so the part where I disagree with you in regards to the difference between Trey Lance and Tom Brady is I think quarterbacks need to have more of an MMA mentality, right? I need to learn different things that I'm not necessarily
I
good
fully agree with you. The problem is like Pinky said, dude's only played a year of football in the last 3 years.
at. Yeah. And
How are you going to learn these things from Brady if you can't even get on the field to replicate it?
Well, it's not about replication. I mean, not right now. I mean, there's still a lot of information he could learn from.
He could learn how to be a pro.
Quarterback of that.
He could
caliber.
learn how to read tape and film and everything. I get all that. Those would be huge benefits.
Okay.
I fully agree. The problem is from my experience, that doesn't translate to on-field success. If you haven't played in that long, and then all of a sudden they're like, you learned from Brady for 2 years, now we're going to go throw you in. Now he hasn't played in 5 years. Like, you don't just knock that rust off. You're screwed at that point, in my opinion. So it's kind of like what the Broncos did with Paxton Lynch. Now, I don't think Paxton Lynch was that good by any means. But you don't put somebody who is Trevor Siemian and not play Paxton Lynch. You draft him in the first round. You go out there and you let him make his mistakes
From what
and
I
learn
hear,
from him.
Paxton Lynch was really good at Madden.
From what I heard, he was terrible in the film room.
Correct.
He couldn't get in his books. That's a problem.
He's a dummy.
However, some guys just are terrible on the practice field and great in the game. Other guys are great on the practice field and terrible in the game.
I do like how your comparison was Simeon, Brady, Lynch, Lance.
You like that?
yeah, because that's definitely a translation.
The point being, you played basically a guy that was the same talent as Paxton Lynch instead of him. So if you're not going to let somebody play to see what they can do and learn from their mistakes, they're never going to grow.
Back to Super Bowl 56 that Brady did not play in,
Right.
thankfully.
Halftime show is the best part of that game, by far.
I mean, that was really fun. That was really fun. I enjoyed the halftime show a lot. Sam and I were having a good time. My son was watching. My wife. My dad was there. Hilarious. So my dad, literally, as soon as the halftime show starts, he just starts messing with his phone. He doesn't play games on his phone, or I'm not sure what he's doing on his phone. I look over. He is completely passed out, and his finger's still just on his screen, on his phone.
Solid.
And this like happens throughout all of halftime. We're having a good time. We're jumping up. We're singing. Passed out. Just done. It's great. It's great. I will remember that.
Making Dre the pseudo headliner was a really smart move.
I just think it's funny that half the Bengals team weren't even alive when they came out. So
I love that McPherson kept his kicker's routine and he goes out on the field at halftime and he doesn't stay in the locker room with his teammates and he's like, I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and just watch the halftime show.
My wife-
Boss move.
My wife had one of the best comments. She's like, "Wait, this halftime setup, the way they have this house scheme
Yeah.
set up, the other half of the stadium doesn't get to see anything.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Did they pay less for their tickets?
If you paid money to see the halftime show, I think that was the problem to begin.
But everybody was in their seats at the halftime. Like, they were all there.
Where are they going to go?
That's the Super Bowl, Pinky. What do you mean everybody is in there? What- That's what you do at the Super Bowl halftime. You stay in your seat to watch the halftime show. You paid $1,000 to see a game and a concert.
Oh, no, they paid like.
Yeah, I know. It was like $10,000 for a minimum nosebleed.
Do you guys want to know what? So it was funny. I actually had because I'm NFL draft on location. I get emails from them. I had an opportunity to buy tickets for about $5,500 and get VIP access to parties with drinks and food included.
I like how you call that an opportunity, but
It was an opportunity. People paid $10,000 for just the ticket.
so
I could have paid $5,500 and got the ticket and everything else.
so it's worth an investment. Buy it now and see if you
Oh.
can flip it.
So I checked my email yesterday.
Yeah.
I already got an email asking me if I wanted to make a deposit on next year's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Deposit's $2,500 per ticket towards next year. I was like, no. But the following year, when it's in Vegas, yeah, I might be interested. In
Where
that.
is it next year? I don't remember.
It's in Phoenix.
Oh,
Phoenix, Vegas, New Orleans.
gotcha.
Scottsdale's pretty fun. I'm just saying. Scottsdale's pretty fun.
The wife and I were talking. Maybe we might want to head down for the week and do some Super Bowl activities, but not go to the game because it's pretty costly to go.
Here in a couple of years, I'm going to try to get us some good stuff.
You're going to go Antonio Brown and buy a whole club level box seat.
2024, man, Vegas. God, I love Vegas. I do.
I don't like Vegas.
The food is so good. The people watching is so good.
It's all right.
People making bad decisions right in front of your eyes. That's pretty good.
I have both witnessed and partied with the most wasted person in Vegas. Let me tell you, it is a sight.
That's not my form of entertainment.
A lot of fun, dude.
Yeah.
Lot of
I would
fun.
rather listen to a podcast than see drunk people run around in circles. So
Oh, I love watching drunk people run around. in this
I mean,
that is not.
Look
for
at
me.
this idiot over here.
I mean,
Not for
it's
me. I'll go to
watching somebody dive into the Caesar fountains is
Ooh,
pretty entertaining.
that's pretty good. I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, granted, I'm not sober when it happens, so it definitely makes it entertaining.
That
But
probably sounds right. Yeah.
We'll get him some whiskey sours and he'll open up. Don't worry.
I'll be ready for a nap, not go people watch.
I mean, you can walk around anywhere in Vegas with your drink in your hand. Like,
Dude, I don't like being around people. Period.
yeah, I get, yeah.
So no.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't wanna,
Vegas,
I don't want to
yeah.
be in that
Dude, I'm telling you.
situation.
Well, you went to Vegas during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Nobody was there.
No, not the second time. The second time it was packed. When I stood at the Bellagio,
Oh,
it was absolutely packed.
I stayed at
But
the Mirage and it was not bad at all.
the time before, though, yeah, it was a ghost town, and I love that. But no, when I got to wait like 50 minutes in line to get a breakfast sandwich, I'm like, this sucks. So, anyways,
Look, I definitely will say I am not on the Joe Burrow is going to get right back to the Super Bowl. Like,
No.
I don't think they're the
He had to
top
win-
team in the AFC.
he had to win so many coin flips to get there, man. It was just.
Now-
So what do you guys
again-
think about my 3 takeaways then? Those are my 3 takeaways of the Super Bowl.
I
That's what I came away thinking.
I think that's very likely. Everything.
Burrow's the next Andrew Luck. How likely do we think? What are we throwing? 50-50? Do we think the Bengals are smarter than
I mean,
that? It's more like 70-30?
it's so glaring that their O-line is so bad. I can't see them not trying to fix
They
it.
tried to address it in the offseason, though, Pinky.
Did they?
The Chiefs did it right.
Well-
the Bengals did.
Well, here's something, though. Here's something you can take into account. Majority of players in the past, hey, we will pay you a lot of money to play in Cincinnati. No, I'm good.
What? Wait. No. Since he didn't ever pay anybody, that's part of the problem of their franchise history.
Okay. But no, but in
You think they're
general,
gonna start paying people
if
now that
somebody-
Burrow's
if-
there?
Well, you have to take advantage of the opportunity you have. They have to go out and spend a little bit of money.
Dude, those Carson Palmer
against an
teams were
O-line.
legit, and they wouldn't even spend money on them. There were a couple years with them Carson Palmer teams. The year he blew out his knee in the first round of the playoffs,
they were good.
They looked like they
were
would win the
good.
Super Bowl. They wouldn't spend money then. What makes you think they're going to all of a sudden change their entire mindset and start spending money because Joe Burrow is great?
I'm hoping they will.
God, everybody is.
It's
for
Ohio,
Joe.
dude. They were balancing.
I
their
like
checkbook.
Joe. I like Joe Burrow.
Dude,
He has it.
I already said he's third best quarterback in the league after what he's just done.
He has it. When the chips are on, or when his team is down, he has it. I love that. I hope they'll spend a little bit of money. I hope they draft some O-linemen. They definitely need it. That's really all they need. Their defense is pretty good.
So give me how you feeling about him being the next Andrew Luck? Where are you on that scale?
I got to see. I mean, he's only 2 years in. Obviously, taking 70 sacks is not a good thing.
Right.
It's more than Andrew Luck took, dude.
I mean, he took a lot.
I know.
That's not adding hits either.
So give me you 50-50. You trust the Bengals more than that? What are you thinking?
I'm hoping they've learned from their mistakes. I
That's
am.
not what I asked you. I want you to put your nuts on the table and give me an answer.
Whoa,
That's a weird question.
I don't know how Mike Brown thinks.
Yeah. And
Gut feeling.
two, I don't want to be here to watch that. So
I got big ones. They take up a lot of the table. 60-40.
Okay.
40% he becomes the next Andrew Luck.
So not terribly confident in the Bengals.
No.
How do you feel about him being the next Dan Marino? Literally, both got there in their second year. Marino never got back.
They've got such a young team, though.
I think he gets there again, but not as a Bengal.
Oh! Well, that changes because that's not what I had thought about, but that changes
Yeah,
things a little
like
bit.
year 11, they trade him to somewhere else.
Yeah. I think he sticks it out with the Bengals, gets to that re-signing phase, and said, "You know what? You guys had so much time to fix this, and you didn't." And then he goes to another team. So
That could change things a little bit. I could change my perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. Now, Rams. Next Bucks. So thin. Everybody's got to stay healthy for them to do it again.
Well, their big dudes have to stay healthy. Aaron Donald, OBJ, Cooper Kupp, Stafford. Like, yeah, I mean, anybody goes down, like any of the major guys.
You think where they're at right now with OBJ playing, okay? OBJ
Well,
didn't get hurt.
OBJ
OBJ didn't get hurt. Do
won't
you think
come
they
back.
beat Buffalo, Kansas City?
no, that's the thing that pisses me off. I think Buffalo beats anybody. If they didn't get so unlucky about that, the coin toss.
The
thing.
way that game went was crazy.
I know,
It's
man.
still
That's just so
still mind blowing.
I think the Rams can beat those teams. I do.
Based-
I don't. I still
You think they
it's-
can even get out of their own division next year?
I mean, they can beat the Cards and the Seahawks.
Can
It's
they?
The 49ers.
Cardinals are going to be looking pretty rough next year from what it's looking like.
I mean, Cardinals beat them. They were
Seahawks have
1-1
been
against the
looking
Cardinals this year, weren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, you think about all the talent that team had, and they barely got to the Super Bowl.
But they did.
Barely. got
They
to the Super
did.
Bowl.
Don't get me wrong.
Again,
They did.
Sometimes it's
But they-
matchups and luck and like
Sure.
things
Yeah.
have to go your way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with all
That's
that.
why it's hard.
Agreed. Agreed.
That's why we don't have many
That's why
back-to-back
it's why the
champions.
Bills making it to 4 Super Bowls in a row is mind blowing, and then even more mind blowing that they weren't even able to win one of them.
You want to know what's most jacked up about that is even if you said you only have a 25% chance, they should have at least took one.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, dude.
That's the saddest.
The only
part.
one they really had a chance at was that first one against the Giants. They missed a field goal to lose.
Well, I mean, they had a chance in all of them, as far as I'm
they
concerned.
didn't. They got routed in 3 of them.
Yeah, just showing up.
The Broncos got routed by the Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks were that much better of a team. Sometimes shit just happens and then it rolls forever. And there is no
Yeah.
stopping that train. You know what I mean? Like,
But-
it's unfortunate, but it just
Well,
happens.
we had 2 things going wrong. They were the more physical team, and we were playing in like 30-degree weather when Peyton couldn't feel his hands. Like that sure doesn't help.
yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
So,
Osteoporosis was already kicking in. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Guy
Um,
was one hit away from being a quadriplegic.
I enjoyed the
so-
Super Bowl. I had a good time.
I liked it.
I had a good time with my friends and family.
I
that were
enjoyed
there.
the event that was the Super Bowl. Hanging out with friends, eating some food, watching football. I was not that entertained by the game.
I just want to see Josh Allen in a Super Bowl, man. I feel for that guy.
Yeah, dude.
I really do. And I think if the Bills play the Rams, Bills win. So
I think the Rams or the Bills need to continue to focus on a running game
oh yeah, that's all they
to
need.
not have to rely on the pass all the time,
Yeah, that's all they need. They need a good bruiser or somebody.
or have to rely on Josh Allen running the ball.
Hey, after Kamara,
It will help, but I mean, let's be honest. Coach makes 2 better decisions and that game's over.
Correct. Bills are
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, like,
Squib Kick would have won that game.
dude, that dude is sitting here this whole offseason going, why?
You want to know what though?
That?
Hey, I blame the kicker because if I was the kicker, I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna do this anyways. I would have. All right, I'm like, fire me. I don't care, dude. Like this is gonna get us to win a game.
I think
of allowing a
so.
dumb
I
decision.
understand what you're saying, and it's not a bad idea by any means.
I
Because
would've.
how often do quarterbacks change play at the line of scrimmage because they didn't like what the offensive coordinator called, right?
Absolutely.
The only problem I see with that though is when the team is on the same page for the play that's about to occur, and then one guy just goes out there and is like squib, and everybody's like, wait.
Okay. Do you think that coach asked for a raise of hands? Like, hey, we should just kick this off regular, right?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, he told
no,
him.
So no, yeah, the team wasn't involved in that. If I was the kicker, I'd be like, it's going to make way more sense to run off like 5 seconds, right?
Just bring everybody, guys. I know I'm the kicker, but come here for a second.
wanna know who
I'm
I
gonna
would-
squib the shit out of this, okay?
I would have talked to the defense. I'd be like, what do you guys think? Do you think I should run off 5 of these 13 seconds? They probably would be like, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
So
Or how about the defensive play call to just back off everybody and let Kelsey run 15 yards down the seam wide open? Like,
yeah.
Well, the fact that the play before that they let Tyreek Hill and have blockers in front of
yeah,
him.
why are you going into prevent? Like, so I said it all year. I think they have running backs that they could use, and they just don't. I truly believe that. I don't think they're all pro running backs. I think they're very serviceable for
Which-
what they need.
Again, this is why getting to the Super Bowl is hard.
Yeah.
Winning the Super Bowl is hard. It's about matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes majority of the time, the best team does not win the Super Bowl. It doesn't.
Dude, it's any given Sunday, man. That's it. That's all
This is
there
what I argue with Sam all the time about. Best team doesn't always win.
No,
In fact, best
absolutely
team
not.
very rarely wins. It's the beauty of sport. There is a serious factor of unknown involved in every game.
I was for sure the Rams were going to win by 10.
I thought it was going to be a blowout.
Yeah, you and me both had it like, what, 30, 31,
Yeah.
17
Okay,
or
well,
Said
so?
31-21 was my prediction.
If the Rams would have played in the second half like they did in the first, when it comes to the pressure on Burrow, it would have been a 38-10 game.
Well, that's the other thing I don't understand. Why aren't you rushing 5 every time? It makes no sense to
Make
me.
him have to make quick decisions.
Why are you allowing Aaron Donald to be double-teamed on every play?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And obviously, as soon as they got into doing what they were supposed to do, it didn't look.
Look
much
at
like
the
it
last
did
play.
anymore.
It's a perfect summation of the Rams just had bad play calling all game. And that's, I think, I said it at the beginning, one of the reasons why I didn't think the game was that good. I thought there was terrible play calling throughout the
But
game.
okay, but it is what it is, though, right? Because they go in with a game plan, and then that game plan doesn't always work, and you have to make adjustments.
Yeah, they didn't, is what it felt like.
They
That last
did.
play of the
They
game,
did.
Their defense sure as hell did, and that's
Yeah,
what matters.
just
so.
The first
Too
half
late,
didn't
I
work
felt
out
like.
great. The second half, the defense was much better.
But, dude-
besides that 7,
that last play of the game is a perfect example of why they should have just been doing that the whole game. Chase was wide open down the sideline.
I think the
And if
5
Burrow
sacks
had-
in the second half was enough of a reason to be like, hey, we should be doing this.
Right, but I'm saying they should have been doing it all game. It would have been a blowout.
I completely
Chase
agree.
was wide open down the sideline on that last play of the game. If Burrow had one more second,
Now,
they win that game, and that's a
as
touchdown.
a coach, you're like, my front 4 should be able to get pressure on this shitty O-line without me blitzing. Because blitzing is bringing that 5th guy.
Yeah.
They just couldn't. Bengals O-line was holding up for some reason. It was amazing.
Because since he was running the ball in the first half. Second half, since he forgot they could run the ball.
Yeah.
And then the Rams were like,
Which
well, let's
you
bring a
can-
fifth
you
guy.
can run the ball in the Rams. As
Yeah,
long as you're
but-
not running towards Ashawn Robinson.
Again,
As Pinky said,
over.
mistakes were made.
mistakes were made. Yes, absolutely. All right. Any last final thoughts before I'm sure next week we'll jump in to start off-season stuff and things of that nature, but any last final thoughts to wrap up the NFL season as a whole? Not just the Super Bowl, the whole season.
I loved what the Rams did. They went all in. if you look at what the Rams have done the last couple seasons, they pushed all in. They have like 3 draft picks, and it's like fifth. They have 1 5th and 2 7ths.
They just keep pushing this out too. They just keep doing this.
So when you see a team go all in and it works out, you're like, wow, that's awesome. Again, bringing it back to the Broncos, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want Aaron Rodgers because I don't want to be good for 3 years, and then he leaves. If he gets us a Super Bowl, what do you care?
Don't go down that road
Right.
yet. We got plenty of time to discuss that. My final thought is the league is in great hands right now. The amount of
And the
star
AFC.
power, just total. Kyler Murray, you still have Kyler Murray in the NFC. You've got Russ, you've got Rodgers. There's still talent there, but the young talent coming up, not just at quarterback. Look at Jamar Chase. Look at Jalen Waddle. Look at Najee Harris. And so many dudes are coming in this league ready to make a difference. And I think that's an amazing evolution of the NFL, and I can't wait to see where that goes for years.
I think the AFC is stacked. Stacked.
SP gave a thumbs up. He's on board with all of this right now. No argument from him.
Zach, we love you, buddy. We miss you.
Anybody that tuned in for the live stream, we're sorry for the technical difficulties to begin with, but we appreciate you jumping in with us and chatting it up. And we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep trying to do some things and get better at, life.
Yeah.
Pinky, chinky.
Cheers.
Everybody out there, I hope you enjoy your 2-finger. I hope you enjoy your week, time with your loved ones. We're out.
My goal next time is to have all this next to the computer. The way I wanted this set up is so I could be at my desk the entire time.
That's what you were saying last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need to move the table a little bit closer?
Well, I just needed to figure out this whole fucking cord situation because when I tried to move it, anyways, yeah, a lot of things could have gone small.
What
We
is
can come like a little earlier next time if you need.
what
us
is
to.
VYN?
DYN?
VYN.
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. I don't even know.
You
No.
did.
No.
Somebody did before.
Somebody said that before that because they were responding to something, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know who HYB is. I don't
That's
know who this
me.
Tory is.
HYB is me.
You're What the fuck is HYB?
It's my username.
Thanks for clearing that up.
So
Not sure
Tory
what you wanted me to answer that with.
Tory responded VYN. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know who Tori is.
Could be a bot.
Asija.
I didn't know who. But
VYN, FYI.
I don't know who.
VYN.
Batal.
Here, you know what? Google's fucking amazing, dude. Anytime I have a slang term I don't understand, I just type it in Google and it tells me.
Did it end?